Welcome to the Cory and Cody show. My name is Cory. With me is my brother Cody. How you doing, brother?
All right, man. All right.
How's North Texas treating you?
Oh, it's got its ups and downs right now. It's hot.
It's hot down here too. Got that humid, sticky shit down here. Ooh.
Oh yeah, I don't miss that crap at all, honestly.
Yeah. Hate it and you love it.
I do miss that breeze sometimes. It's kind of just stale up here. It's just hot.
Definitely.
All right, I'm closer to the Rangers though. That's what matters.
There you go. On the show today, we're going to talk about some interview earlier in the week. Troy Palamalu said some pretty interesting things on the Dan Patrick show. So that's where we're going to start things off. After we talk about the Open Championship right now, Tiger Woods is back? What?
I don't know. I mean, but he's definitely playing better. I mean, you know, he's not doing near as bad as he has been. And honestly, what has he won? Like 3 out of his last 6 tournaments or something like that.
I think he's won 2. I mean, he won the Arnold Palmer, and he won Memorial.
Yeah.
Did he win another one? I don't know. But yeah, he's been much better lately. That's for sure. He shot an even 70 today, which would put him at he's 6 under right now in 4th place. Obviously, Adam Scott has just been on fire. I mean, 64. He shot a 64, a 67, and a 68. He's just been absolutely killing it.
Yeah, he's under 200 for the tournament in 3 days. He's got one more day left. You know, I mean, he's doing really well. And especially with all the rain they've had there. They rained quite a bit. I think it was like 5 inches the other night, Friday night over there. So.
Yeah, I don't know how much of it you've actually been able to catch, but the bunkers from yesterday and today have been underwater.
Oh yeah, I mean, I did see some. Me and Randy were actually out eating the other day, and I saw that they were pumping water out of one of the bunkers there. And even without the rain, those bunkers are damn near like 6 feet tall. I mean, it's amazing how those guys can get out of those.
Yeah, he hit a shot. Tiger, that is, hit the shot on 18 on day 2. That was like, I mean, I think if he doesn't hit that shot, obviously he's 4 back, assuming he makes the par. He would be 4 back going into day 3, which would have actually been obviously it could have been a much bigger mind game to him than because we know he's suffered with that over the past 2 years that he's been having this slump. So I think he's doing much better. The tournament's it's shaped out to be a great Sunday. I'm really excited to wake up tomorrow and see that final group tee off. I want to say they tee off at around 12 or so Eastern. I think that's about right. Maybe it's a little bit earlier. No. I think it's like 10:30 Eastern. I believe is the around the tee off time for that final group tomorrow. So
I'm gonna try and catch some of it. You know, it's just frustrating me watching these guys do what they do, because you know, as me and you go out and play golf, and
lucky to break 100.
Oh, shoot, it'd be a fantastic day. I would be buying beers in the clubhouse for everybody if I shot 100.
Yeah, I think I would be too. I also, pretty interesting on here, I didn't know this. The purse for the Open Championship, $8 million.
For playing golf, wow.
$8 million. Play 4 days of golf. What a life. Sign me up.
Tiger Woods is still ranked number 1 in the world?
No, I don't think so.
I have his profile and ranking right here, and it says ranked number 1.
Unless that's changed in the last day or two.
I guess so.
I do remember hearing it.
It could be money list. He's number 1.
Oh, definitely.
This year he's leading the money list.
I do remember hearing a interview earlier in the week that he would probably go back to number 1 if he won the championship, but he set himself up to do it. So we'll see if it happens. Moving in tomorrow, if he can shoot a 65 or 66. And Adam Scott just obviously doesn't have one of the days. If he shoots par or worse tomorrow,
Right.
then it could be. I mean, Snedeker looked unstoppable. I mean, he shot a 66 and then a 64.
Hey, he's right there. I mean, a couple holes he birdies and Adam Scott even pars or bogeys. He's right back in it.
Snedeker's right there. But I'm just saying.
McDowell's him and Snedeker and McDowell are tied for second right now.
Correct, but just on the sense of Snedeker, he shot 66 and then a 64, and then he shot a 73 today. So
yeah, didn't shoot very well today.
whether that's nerves or something else, that's yet to be seen, and we'll see how he shoots tomorrow. He's still in the hunt, so we'll definitely see how that goes. All right, I think golf. We're gonna move on to what I opened with in the lead of the show. Troy Palamalu earlier in the week had a pretty interesting interview. He said a few interesting things about concussions and his job as a safety in the NFL. And I'm going to go ahead and play a little clip from this interview earlier in the week from the Dan Patrick Show. And here it is.
Don't go in to just get somebody down. Like, don't you go in with the mindset that I'm going to take you down and it's going to hurt you?
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't say like the hurt part, but the goal is definitely to try to bring somebody down.
But you see guys who don't tackle very well. They don't wrap them up.
I'm obligated to say that with the state of football nowadays.
Have you ever tried to purposely knock somebody out?
Have I? No, definitely not. I've been knocked out way too many times to understand that I wouldn't want anybody else to feel that way.
How many concussions do you think you've had?
I've had, I believe, 8 or 9 recorded concussions. We'll have another conversation after I'm done playing football.
How many unrecorded?
Well, when people say that you kind of just get, just feel like a little buzzed or daisy.
You get your bell
or
rung.
dazed, I'm sorry. Yeah, if you just feel like your bell rung, they consider that a concussion.
Do you?
And I wouldn't, no. But if that is considered a concussion, I would say any football player at least records maybe 50 to 100 concussions a year. So
He's Troy Palamalu, the Steelers safety, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. Have you ever lied to get back into a game?
yes, I have, for sure.
How do you do that?
Well, there's just so much built up about team camaraderie and sacrifice, and football is such a tough man's game. I think that's why it's so popular, and that's why, so many blue-collar communities and people can really feel attracted to this because it is sort of a blue-collar struggle, that football players go through in terms of the physicality of the game and the commitment you need. So it would be no different than a guy who wakes up to go to the mines every day in West Virginia, you know what I mean, where you don't feel right, you feel sick. It's that sort of commitment that you need to play football. You feel sore, you feel beat up, you're injured, you're legitimately injured, where most people may take 3 months out of work in an office. We choose to play.
So as you heard right there, he says some pretty interesting things about team camaraderie and choosing to get out there and play and whether you have a concussion or not, that's your job and that's what you signed up to do when you signed that multi-million-dollar contract, was to go out there and risk getting hurt. And I thought it was an interesting take on the concussion things. One that we haven't really heard from players. Most of them kind of try to stay away from the concussion topic, and he kind of just hit it head on.
He just seems to be like the ideal player. Like, everybody likes him. Nobody has ever had anything bad to say about him. He plays the game right now. Line to get back into a game. I mean, it is what it is. We know this is happening.
Yeah.
We know that players are hiding concussions to play, and it's not only for them, but it's also for their teams, like he says. It's for your teammates. You have a concussion, and you just got to go.
Correct.
So, and that's what he's talking about. And is that hurting the NFL's image right now? Yeah. I mean, I think it is.
Maybe.
Now, will it affect it where it even puts a dent in the popularity of the NFL? I don't think so, unless something severe happens.
But does it hurt it more because they're doing it, or does it hurt it more because the NFL... I mean, I guess the NFL has to make a big deal about it, right? When you have, like, the junior Seau and
It's liability.
all these other things. You have these things that happen, right? So the NFL and Roger Goodell is trying to attack this head on and make the issue come to the public's eye, and obviously it's going to happen, right? Like, it's football. But...
Well, yeah.
But I loved the reference to the minors and saying, like, look, they go in every day and they get sick and they get hurt. They know that it's happening to them, but it's their job. It's a blue collar job. They go and they do it because that's what they signed up to do.
And he really plays for a blue collar town. I mean,
that's what
Pittsburgh is. They demand hard work from their athletes, and he's just the ideal person for that. He goes out there and busts his ass for his team. Will play hurt. I'm not, like I say, I'm not condoning that, but that's just the type of player he is. I'd love to have him in Dallas. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one thing to play injured. It's another thing to lie about being injured. And the fact that obviously he does it, obviously there's other people in the NFL that do it, and for him to just say it, and even the line that he throws in there, like, "Hey, we'll talk again when I retire," like.
Yeah, I love that Dan asked him how many were unreported.
Yeah. How many
unreported concussions do you have to go along with the 8 or 9 concussions that have been reported?
Yeah, how many have you had in your career that you didn't tell a doctor about? 50 to 100 or something around those lines. So
he says right here, Palamalu said, if you feel a little buzz after a hit, they consider that a concussion. And based on that measure, every football player probably had 50 to 100.
50 to 100 concussions.
What they consider, I guess, the teams or the NFL a concussion. 50 to 100.
Yeah, and me and you both played football, and he's probably strictly speaking NFL. Right. I mean, think college. I played high school football. I didn't play college. But I can remember those times where you lower your head and just you feel all dizzy when you get up. Like, is that a concussion? Maybe, I don't know.
If the NFL, if that's what the NFL considers a concussion, then they're going to have them on damn near every play.
Every single play.
And the reason why the NFL is so popular, and the reason why, of course, they're changing the rules, and I understand the reason why, because they want to see more touchdowns and all that stuff, because that's what sells. But, it's kind of losing its validity as far as receivers going across the middle. I mean, it's a straight up and down game now.
Yeah, I mean, your receivers are the people that can run the fastest in a straight line and catch the ball.
And jump the highest.
But even then, you see more over the middle. Excuse me. You see more over the middle passes happening because the linebackers and safeties can't roam the middle like they could 5-10 years ago, 15.
Yeah, because that helmet to helmet hit that you used to have guts to go across is no longer there because it's a penalty.
But it's not even helmet to helmet. I mean, the defenseless receiver, you have complete freedom to catch the ball without being hit. So I think it's the concussion issue is something we're going to see from now till either football goes away or from now till that someone invents a helmet that allows these players to not get the head injuries that they get today.
What happens first?
I would think that with technology, eventually we would be able to develop that helmet. But
I'd hope so.
I hope so too, because I love football. I mean, I love college football. I love NFL. I love it all. Football's like when it's football season, that's best time of the year in my opinion. But it's like just like the Kurt Warner shit that came out earlier in the year with players, with parents like him. I mean, he played football. He played a long, great career, and he came out and said, like, I'm scared for my kids to play football.
Yeah,
like, it's a health risk.
I've noticed a lot of players are starting. Didn't Troy Aikman say something about that?
I didn't hear it if that did happen.
I'm pretty sure he said something about not letting his kids play football.
Kurt Warner did.
I know Kurt Warner did, but I think, or maybe Troy was asking if would he, ever let one of his kids play?
Maybe so. I think also later on in that Troy Palamalu interview, he asks about Troy's kids, and Troy says like, they're gonna do what they want to do, and if that's the path they choose, then so be it. And he doesn't have a problem with it. So I think it's mixed emotions and mixed things. Troy's also not a quarterback, so he might not know, or he doesn't have the same look at it that a quarterback would have, maybe. But who knows?
I want us to know with Drew Brees. What is he? Is he suing the NFL?
Drew Brees is suing the NFL?
You're only saying, course. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He's not suing.
I was like, this is news to me.
No, I misread this. No, I guess he was in the courtroom for Jonathan Vilma's
okay.
suit against Robert. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Vilma's suing the NFL for...
No, Vilma, okay.
Yes, correct. I did know that.
He filed an affidavit Saturday in Louisiana District Court in support of teammate Jonathan Vilma against the defamation suit against the NFL's Commissioner Roger Goodell.
Yeah. How do you think the Saints are going to do this season?
Well, they got their quarterback.
That they did. A very expensive quarterback.
They're lucky they got him because they don't have much of anything else. I don't know. That's a town that came together once. Maybe they can do it again. I think the whole situation's a little ridiculous. I mean, I understand about, you can't have players, hunting down other players for money, but there's been no proof of that.
Well,
there has been nobody has said, I'm going to go break somebody's leg or something like that and collect this $10,000.
Yeah, but it was there's some pretty definitive evidence. The whole "where's my money" thing right after Brett Favre got hurt.
Yeah, that was
pretty obvious.
Sunk the ship.
That division it doesn't seem very strong to me. That's the only reason I would say New Orleans will have a chance this season in at least coming out. Atlanta is Atlanta. I mean, if Matt Ryan pulls together and has a good season that he's supposed to have, then it's very possible that Atlanta will just roll through that. Carolina, I don't see Newton having even half the season he had last year.
And they only went 6-11.
Yeah, 6-10. Yeah, but I still don't see himself having that great of a year. He had a good year last year. It was great, way better than I thought. He's not my first pick in my fantasy draft this year, I guarantee you. And Tampa Bay is going to be awful. That's just fact. So,
you don't think that they're coming back around?
Maybe, but even if they go 8-8, then they. I lost my train of thought. Dad. Company came in. 8 of 8. Even if they go 8 of 8 or something. They're still. I think New Orleans and Atlanta both have a good chance of going 10-6, 9-7 next year. So Carolina and Tampa Bay, I see them going right around the same as they did last year. A little bit better with Tampa Bay, maybe. Carolina, not so much.
How do you think the Browns are going to do this year?
The Browns?
With adding Trent Richardson and Brandon Weeden. You think Brandon Weeden's going to... I mean, obviously, they're already grooming him to take Colt McCoy's spot. So
Colt McCoy is going to learn how to play the clipboard role in Cleveland really quickly.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he just never... And, of course, I don't study the Browns, but...
They've had no offensive line.
I guess that's what it is.
I mean, we went and saw him last year in Houston, and he had no blocking. Every game you watch them play,
it was a jail rush.
Yeah, he's trying to get the ball off before he can even read before he can even get a read of the defense. So,
right.
How will they do this season? I think that there'll be some sort of slump.
Did they upgrade their offensive line?
I couldn't tell you.
They drafted Ryan Miller, guard.
What round?
And they also drafted a tackle in the 5th. They drafted a tackle. No, they drafted a tackle in the 2nd round, and a guard in the 5th round.
Yeah, they still haven't signed Brandon Weeden or Trent Richardson though.
They haven't.
No, they have not.
What's up?
And
Jay walked in.
yeah, I see him.
I see you too.
I think the interesting division to watch this year, in the AFC at least, is going to be the Houston division.
You think so?
I think Houston's going to have a good year. Again, obviously. Rangers kicking that ass. But Tennessee and Jacksonville are both going to be, I don't know, I think they're going to be pesky all year. I don't think they're going to be great. I don't think they're going to be, Houston should still win the division. But I think that Tennessee and Jacksonville are going to be pesky. Just because they always are. And so maybe if Houston should still go 10-6, but I think it's going to be an interesting watch in that division to see how Matt Schaub returns after the injury last year, and to see how they develop moving forward without Mario Edwards, without, So I think it's going to be interesting.
What about the Colts?
With Andrew Luck, I mean,
I don't look for them to be good for a while. I don't look for them.
I don't either. I don't either. It just there's such a sketchy. I don't know. I just don't see them being good. They're 145-1 odds for them to win the Super Bowl. Okay. 145-1 odds.
Oh my!
But that's not the worst in the NFL.
What's the worst? Who's the worst in the NFL?
Cleveland, Minnesota, and Jacksonville are all tied. No. Jacksonville's a 250-1 odd. 250-1. Yes, sir.
251. We should put $100 on them.
$100 on Jacksonville?
Just for the fuck of it.
I would love to go out to Vegas like a few weeks before the season started and like put money on like 5 different teams.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
I mean,
I don't know. It'd be tough for me to pick just 5 teams. I mean, because obviously, if you're going to try and win money, you're of course going to put some on,
Obviously, I mean, your Green Bay's, your Patriots, Eagles, Texans.
Baltimore.
Green Bay and Baltimore?
I don't know. I don't know how good Green Bay is going to be next year.
Standing here today, July 21st, about 3 weeks before mini camps, Super Bowl picks. Go.
Oh,
on the spot. That wasn't even planned. That was just on the spot.
Hold on. Let me look here. Let me see what some teams have added.
I'm just looking at the list right now. This is going to change before the season starts, probably. But just standing here thinking about last year and everything, the Texans will win the AFC.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna write this down.
Texans, and as much as it pains me to say it, the Eagles will win the NFC.
I don't know
Texans
about
and Eagles.
I think the Cowboys are more improved. I do not think that the Eagles will even win the West.
It don't matter if they win. If they get to the playoffs, I think that I could see it happening.
Let's see. They drafted a defensive tackle, Fletcher Cox, in the first round to pick number 12. He's that guy that went to Mississippi State.
Correct.
Yeah, he's good.
He
graded out an 89.5. He had a 4.79 40. He did 30 reps on the bench press, 26-inch vert. Cone drill was 7.07, and he had a 20-yard shuttle, which was 4.53. So he's pretty quick on his feet. I mean, not too. I mean, the dude is 6'4".
He is. I don't know. That's just they're sitting right next to each other on this list. The Texans, I could see that. The Eagles, that's kind of a long shot. I don't see how they're an 11-1 odds to win the Super Bowl next year.
The Eagles?
Yeah, I don't see that, but
I don't think they had too good of a draft.
I think it's pretty interesting. The Cowboys are 26-1. Pretty interesting.
I put 100 on them.
I would. Yeah, I mean, they could do it.
I think honestly, they're much improved.
They are.
With the additions of Brandon Carr and Maurice Claiborne.
Yeah, it's going to help their secondary. I still think the offensive line still needs work in Dallas.
And they didn't draft one. I was shocked.
I was shocked too. I don't know if there just wasn't anything to go get when they were picking, or I don't know. I don't know what the deal was with it, with that.
I don't know either. I mean, I didn't really. I was really shocked that they did not at least go get one in free agency or draft one in the top 3 rounds. You know, they didn't have a pick in the second round, or they traded it.
I think they traded it
Yeah, they traded it to move up to get Claiborne.
Correct.
Yeah, because they picked 6.
I don't know. Yeah, when they traded up, I was like, I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting season. Obviously, you have all the Tony Romo questions. How will he do? Is he gonna improve? Is he gonna be good down the stretch in December? Is he gonna all this stuff that's been the questions for the past 3 or 4 years that all Dallas fans have either. I mean, Dallas fans are pretty split on Romo at this point. I believe either you're still on his fence and you're still riding, saying he's better than anybody else we can go get, or you're kind of done with him. And
yeah, and that's the feel I get from everybody. It's either get him out of here or Tony is a good quarterback.
Correct.
But I am starting to see more and more people slide towards that dislike of him. And, that's just because, we're a win-now city. I mean, Dallas has always been a win-now town. So, having one playoff win in the last 15 years is unacceptable.
Correct. Hit us up with thoughts on Twitter and Facebook. Not Facebook. We don't have that yet. Twitter, and email us at Cory and Cody Show, CoryandCodyShow@gmail.com. Hit us up with those. You could follow me at Corey Till. You can follow him at CTill72. And we're going to move on to baseball. This is the hot topics right now. Obviously, we're right in the middle. We're 10 days before the trade deadline. So there's a lot of baseball stuff going on. We also have some injuries. We have some Bryce Harper news, the Bryce Harper watch. And obviously, injuries. We have a few injuries this week. It's pretty big AL East injuries with Ortiz and Bautista getting hurt. Bautista was placed on the DL pretty quickly afterwards, and Ortiz, last I heard, was the Achilles was not. He's not playing, so I assume he's bound to be on the DL sooner than later. And
he's I don't think he's gonna be playing for a little bit.
yeah, I don't think so. That was. I mean, he had to be carried into the clubhouse, which immediately tells me that he really messed something up, whether it's a strain or something else.
Players that take to carry him into the clubhouse.
I don't know. Probably more than one.
Oh man.
But by far the biggest injury news to come out this week is Joey Votto needing surgery on his knee, sliding into third base a few weeks ago. He actually played the All-Star break with it, or played the All-Star game with it, and now he's out.
Oh, what a bad shot for the Reds.
Yeah, definitely. We have an interview clip from earlier this week, Dusty Baker talking about the incident.
The Cincinnati Reds announced on Monday that first baseman Joey Votto will miss 3 to 4 weeks as he will undergo surgery to reconstruct torn cartilage in his left knee. Votto hurt himself sliding to third base in a game back on June 29th, but continued to play through the injury, including making the start for the National League in last week's All-Star game. On Monday, manager Dusty Baker addressed the situation.
Yeah, it was very tough news for Joey. He knew it was something, but you know, we got time to get him fixed. Hopefully, the other guys will pick it up in his absence. And you know, Joey's in great shape. He heals very quickly. You know, we knew it was something, especially the fact that he wasn't healing. And so we just got to tighten our belts, and everybody else got a job to do.
It was revealed later on Monday night that it was a tear for Votto, and the 2010 National League MVP elected to have surgery. Votto is batting .342 with 14 home runs and 49 RBIs for the Reds this season, who lead the NL Central, and Votto is a leading candidate for the NL MVP. Check back here with Cinesport and follow us on Twitter @Cinesport for all news from around Major League Baseball.
That is a great follow, by the way. Cinesport on Twitter. They are up to date all the time. Go give those guys a follow. They don't need me shouting them out. But yeah, Joey Votto, it's a heartbreaker for the Reds. They're in first place. Their candidate, MVP candidate, it just out for 3 to 6 weeks. He has to have he has a torn ligament in his knee, or torn cartilage in his knee.
Tore his meniscus.
Yeah, it's awful. And we'll see if the Reds can improve. Like Dusty Baker said, guys are just going to stand up around him, and they're going to have to truck on without him for the next 5-6 weeks.
They signed him that 10-year extension in the offseason, $225 million.
Yeah, I mean he's been their lineup. I mean,
yeah, he's been killing it for.
It's gonna be very, very interesting to see how they react. See if maybe they possibly go out and grab someone here at the break, if they can afford it.
Who would they possibly go after to replace him?
I don't know. I don't. With the new wild card. There's just so many teams that are still in the hunt, and so many teams that are still looking to make moves on the positive. There's more buyers than there are sellers for the first time in a long, long time. So it's gonna be interesting to see if maybe the Reds go make a move.
They have this kid I know down in Louisville for them. He's in AAA for them. I think I don't know if he's on their 40-man roster or not. His name's Navarro something, or maybe that's his last name. And he's batting .339 down there. So
maybe they'll just pull from within and make changes that way. I haven't heard anything from any of my sources, nothing on Twitter or anything, saying that that the Reds are players in any trade talks right now. So I guess.
Look. I really don't think that I really think that they'll promote from within.
It's probably their best option.
I'm sure. There's just nobody to go get right now at first base.
Yeah, there's really not.
I mean, everybody's been pretty much locked up.
Especially from, I'm trying to think of teams that have a really good first baseman that would be willing to move someone at this point in time, and I just.
What about Billy Butler?
Maybe, but
KCP sellers in this deal?
I'm sure they are, but I mean
they've already traded Jeremy Guthrie.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a possibility that happens, but like you said, I see the Reds promoting from within. They're not generally a team that goes and spends a lot of money. They already have a lot of money tied up in Votto, so it's not like that team to reach out and start grabbing people off the market.
Oh man, you hear about Bryce Harper?
Bryce Harper. Move over. Talk about pine tar. Bryce Harper. Favorite player growing up was Mr. Why am I drawing a blank? Kansas City Royal. George Brett. And we've all seen the video. You know, George Brett uses a little too much pine tar. And I guess Bryce Harper, you know, he's just modeling his hero, using a lot of pine tar on that bat, and Ozzie Guillen just didn't like it.
What a ridiculous situation that was. I mean, what is the big deal? Why has he got to always make a show out of nothing? Ozzie Guillen, I'm referring to.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I don't know if I'm sure you did see it. The bat, I mean, it clearly had more than the amount of pine tar that is regulated for whatever reason. If someone can explain to me why they regulate the amount of fucking pine tar you put on your bat, I would love to know. But he says whatever to him, and then I'm not sure if he expected no reaction from him, or I'm not really sure what he expected from it. But the next time Harper came up to bat, he came up with the clean bat and just kind of said, "Is this good enough for you, sir?"
Yeah, he was kind of shaking his bat at.
Yeah, he kind of pointed it at him.
Yeah, but like, you know, to get his approval, you know, obviously joking around, because obviously Bryce, you know, isn't gonna be, you know, too nice to Ozzie Guillen after, you know, what he just did to him. But you know, that's the kind of kid this kid is. You know, he's just a little
but he handled it well. I mean,
he did.
After the game, he in the press conference he said Ozzie's a great manager. He's just going to bat for his players, and he's making sure that everything is being handled the way it's supposed to be handled. And I thought Bryce handled it well, just like he has everything else this season. He the whole incident with Cole Hamels earlier in the year, I thought he handled that like a veteran.
I loved it.
I mean, the kid's 19 years old, and he's younger than I am, and he's having just, I don't know. I know if someone said that to me, then I would be more than not nice after the game.
Beginning of the year, did you expect Bryce to play as well as he's played?
When he first got pulled up, probably. I mean, he's playing good, but
I mean, he's not hitting Mike Trout numbers.
Yeah, I mean, he's batting 268 or something up. 269. He's got like eight home runs. He's having a great rookie season, and I would have not said at the beginning of the year I did not think he would get the playing time he has. The Nationals had a few bumps in the road early on this year, and that allowed him to really shine. And he came out firing really early. He plays with a lot of heart.
Sells a lot of jerseys.
And yeah, and he's going to for several years. And him and Mike Trout are really the future of the game today. And if the MLB doesn't grab these two and start putting them on every billboard that has to do with anything that is related to MLB, then they're doing something wrong. They need a new marketing manager, because these two kids are going to be selling jerseys for the next 15, 20 years. They're both 19, 20 years old. and they're going to play for at least 15 years, assuming that one of them doesn't get hurt.
There's been Major League scouts tell reporters on ESPN and stuff that they look for this kid to eventually hit 600 home runs.
Harper or Trout?
Trout.
Oh yeah, I mean, how many does he have this year? He's got to be over 10 at least.
Oh yeah,
probably closer to 20.
He
and
they said that he's just so fast. That he's going to steal so many bases. He's going to hit a ton of home runs. He's going to be your perennial number 3 hitter.
Yeah, he's having a great.
He's batting 355, 15 home runs, 47 RBIs.
GNC.
And he's 20.
Yeah, he's having a great year. There's nothing else to it. He's having a absolutely tremendous year. And it's scary for me being a Rangers fan, knowing that I'm gonna have to deal with this kid for many years to come. The Angels aren't letting him go.
They're building a dynasty.
Yeah.
I mean, they're about to be very good, especially if the Rangers can't re-sign some of their key players that are coming up. As far as Nelly, and what are we going to do in a catcher? Josh obviously is gone next year. That's my opinion. I don't know that, but I just don't see him giving up $100 million to stay in Texas.
Yeah, I don't see the Rangers looking to sign him for more than 3 years. I mean, they might go 5, but if they go 5, it's going to be like, I think the offer would be 60 to 75 million, and someone's going to offer him 100 million because they'll make that in jerseys in 1 year. So, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting next few weeks.
Yeah, I agree. You want to say hello to the people?
What you doing, bud?
Yeah.
Well, no.
No, right now we're talking about Mike Trout and just baseball in general.
Beast.
Beast.
One word.
Yeah. He's gonna be a Ranger killer for a while now. I mean, that's just my opinion on him. But I mean, as far as like Trumbo,
the whole team, Trumbo, assuming that they keep. Well, they already signed. I mean, Pujols has a multi-year deal.
Yeah, he's there. Probably retires.
Yeah, more than likely. CJ's going to be there for 5 years, right?
I believe so.
So that's a lot of young talent. I mean, obviously Pujols isn't young, but that's a lot of talent that they have locked up for multi-years. So they're going to be good for at least another 5 to 7 years. And yeah, I mean the Rangers have kind of had their up. They built up to where they're at now, and unfortunately, I don't think it can go any higher. Right? Like they've been to 2 World Series. They're going to be really good this year. They've got a good chance to go to a 3rd World Series. Assuming everybody can stay healthy and they can get the pitching rotation in order and everything. But does it keep going up? You don't obviously keep going to World Series. That doesn't happen. So
not in baseball.
Yeah, you don't just win. I mean, you don't just win forever in baseball. People get greedy and people want more money and contracts end, and it just doesn't work that way.
Not only that, I mean that's just the way baseball is. It's one little bounce could be the difference in the whole game.
Yeah.
Everything has to go your way. You have to get hot. Your pitching has to get hot. Your hitting has to get hot. I mean, look at the Rangers' losses in the World Series the last 2 years versus, the teams they've lost to.
Yeah.
Both teams just got extremely hot at the right time, and
if the damn All-Star game didn't decide home field advantage, I'd have
I still agree with that.
Like
100%.
over here on this wall that's big and blank over here, there'd be like World Series banner somewhere. But it's not there because I still think at least last year, Game 7's at home, the Rangers win that game. So
I think Game 6 is at home. Nelly catches the ball up against the wall. I think honestly, I've thought about this. I think Nelly got caught and we've already won it land, so to speak. You know, being one strike away, I honestly think that he was just not even ready for that fly ball.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know that.
you can speculate all you want. It's not.
Yeah, I could say,
It doesn't change anything.
Yeah, well, yeah. It just seemed to me like he was caught up so much in we've won, you know, that I think that he kind of lost where he was at.
What do the Rangers do moving forward as far as trading? What do they go after here at the All-Star break? Do you think the catcher is the primary role that they need? Do you think there's another direction that they need to go?
As far as this year, I think they need another lefty out of the pen. You know, Robbie Ross has been dominant this year. He's you know, been great, but I think we need another one for the playoffs. We could always use another starting pitcher. With Greinke now, we're being told that he's been offered a $100 million extension. So, do you go and you rent, for lack of a better term, Cole Hamels?
Yeah, but even then, he's been offered the contract too. He might have signed actually with the Phillies. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure he signed an extension with the Phillies.
Cole Hamels?
Yeah.
If that's the case, then who do they really have to go get?
As far as starting pitchers, there's not a ton out there. Okay, no, they haven't. He hasn't signed, but he's been offered.
I've heard Cliff Lee.
Yeah, I've heard that too, but I don't.
And maybe if they'll finish the 35 construction, maybe Cliff Lee's wife will like the construction better than Dallas.
No, I don't see him leaving Philly anytime soon. I think he wants to retire in Philly. I think he's always liked Philly. I think he got the no trade clause in his deal for a reason. So I think he's there to stay till he retires.
How about Matt Garza?
Again, it's a possibility, but who's willing to buy and who's willing to trade, and what do they need, and are the Rangers willing to give up what it takes to get someone like that?
And I know me and you had this talk yesterday. There's no way in hell the Rangers are even considering trading Jurickson Profar.
Yeah, I would probably agree. I don't think that's someone that they can just deal out unless there's a lot to go get with him. But I don't think there's anybody out there to go get. Not that has that value. Obviously, he's being reported as the next, Derek Jeter, or the next great middle infielder in the major leagues. So
they've had him compared defensively as maybe a step behind Elvis, in range, but has a good arm and then can hit like
Jose Reyes. Yeah,
who's a stud. So I mean, if they're comparing Jurickson Profar to those two players, there's no way in hell you can get rid of him. There has been talks about Mike Olt, who's a third baseman / first baseman down in AAA for the Rangers. Got good pop in his bat, got a good glove. They're trying him in the outfield a little bit. There's been talks of him maybe getting traded. He's probably their next best position player prospect. So it's either going to be pitching or they're going to have to give up Olt.
Yeah, I would agree.
Don't get anybody.
But I don't know who they go get. Obviously, two of your pitchers at the beginning of the year that you thought were going to be your aces haven't been there. As far as Holland and Lewis just haven't performed as well as they've needed them to,
and been injured.
So yeah, and they've been injured. So they could a starting pitcher to add to that rotation would be really nice. But what can you do?
I Is Darvish an ace?
Yes.
Do the Rangers really have a true ace?
Yes.
I don't know. He just I haven't seen enough from him yet.
I mean, obviously he's not Cliff Lee or Cole Hamels or.
I mean, he's doing great this year. Actually, probably better than I expected. I think he's going to get his 15 wins, easy.
Easy. I mean, he already has what, 11?
11 or 12.
He's going to get another one today.
Yeah, he's going to get another one today. They're in the bottom of the 7th right now.
Yeah.
Texas leading L.A. 7-2 in the bottom of the 7th. Mike Napoli hitting home run.
I saw that. It's some hope. Hopefully he can turn it around, and if the Rangers don't have to go get anybody, it's going to be great for them, right? Like if they can keep what they have and just kind of play out the rest of this year, then that would be great.
Hold on real quick. Clicked on something.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Yeah, I think though we have to start looking for a catcher.
Yeah, for the future, that's definitely something we're going to need.
I mean, Torrealba, I'm either on with him or I hate him.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, he's not one of those guys that I can say or have confidence in him coming to the plate and getting a base hit in a crucial situation.
I agree. Anyways, we could sit and talk Rangers all day. Obviously, that's who we watch night in, night out. So we'll move on. Everybody will get enough Rangers talk from us every episode, because that's until the end of the season, because that's just who we are. But moving on, out west, you have the Dodgers and the Giants. Tight race out there. Giants have taken first place by 3 or 4 games now. It's going to be a close race. Do you see either one of those teams making any moves?
I don't really think so. I mean, honestly, they're it's funny that we're talking about this. I just pulled up MLB.com, and San Francisco and Philadelphia are in a 5-5 tie.
Yeah, I have the score up. Yeah.
Yeah. Both of the teams right now are hot. The Giants are extremely hot, winning 7 out of their last 10. I don't really know. I can see the Dodgers are right there too.
That's the Dodgers and the Giants.
Yeah. I think the Dodgers will end up probably winning that division. I think they have better starting pitching.
I don't know. I mean, if Lincecum can be himself, then
he could learn to pitch on the road.
That, and if he can just be himself from 3 years ago, then I think that him and Matt Cain is just unbelievable. I mean, if they get to the postseason at all, they're going to be scary. Obviously, that one-game playoff wild card game is going to be nuts. I think it's going to happen this year. In one of those 2 games, someone's going to get, like, the lower seed is going to win. Like, it's going to happen.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's so terrible. Like, I think it needs to be at least a best of 3. But that's another conversation. I think San Francisco makes some moves here to strengthen their lineup a little bit. They go out and get a second baseman, or go out and get not a second baseman. They go out and just tighten up the lineup and really help that pitching staff be better than it's been showing this year. I think the loss of Brian Wilson's obviously being done for the season pretty much is going to hurt him down the run. He's a big part of that bullpen. But
he scares me with that beard.
But the Dodgers are going to have to make some moves.
I'm scared of what I'm going to find in there.
Yeah, I'd be pretty scared too. The Dodgers obviously have some issues. I think everywhere, right? Like, I think they could use a couple bats. I think they could use a starting pitcher. I think they could use some stuff in their rotation.
And their MVP is hurt every other week.
Yeah, that too. But I think that they need a lot more than the Giants need to really strengthen that roster and that team. So it'll be interesting to see how they go about it, and if they Who decides to make the moves here towards down the stretch?
I'm really excited for the 31st, and that's obviously that's when the trade deadline is. So this next week is going to be, I don't know if we're going to see as many moves though this year as we normally did, just for the fact that you don't get the picks back if the player doesn't resign. That's what happened with the Rangers whenever Cliff Lee came here.
What do you mean?
The supplemental picks, if you get a player and he doesn't sign an extension or sign another deal, you get supplemental picks. Well, now the new CBA, you don't get any picks back. So I don't know if that's going to hinder, the trade movement.
I don't know if that's going to have as much to do with it as the just the new wild card thing. There's more teams in contention to get to that one game playoff than there's been in a while. So
yeah, teams still have a shot, if they're still 3 out.
Or 7 out at this point. I mean, if you're 7 games out of the wild card, I mean, it could happen, right? 2 teams are going to make it, so.
Like I say, you just got to get hot.
I mean, unless you're like the Astros or the Cubs or the Padres, it's pretty much.
The Astros are.
We don't need to talk Astros.
Oh my goodness Christ! Could they have a worse team?
They could.
I think that's not even the Astros. That's a AAA team.
No. The Astros, we've had this conversation. The Astros have some amount of talent. It's just they need a lot more than they have.
You think they do? I don't.
Jose Altuve is an all-star for a while.
Okay, they got one.
Chris Johnson.
They just traded J.R. Happ.
Chris Johnson's going to be good.
Who the hell is that?
He's a third baseman. No. I don't know. Doesn't matter. I just know that he's a stick. He either plays outfield or third base.
He needs to go to the American League then.
And he's gonna be there next year.
Oh yeah. Oh, I can't wait for those easy victories.
Yeah, it's like 20 victories a year right there.
Yeah. Same thing for the Angels though.
It's also gonna be nice to have more home games.
True.
Or not home games, but these LA games that are terrible.
The Rangers are kicking butt.
So as far as trade talk goes, I don't know. The next 10 days will be interesting. I think next week's show there'll be a lot more details. There'll be some trades happen over the week, and there'll be a lot more to talk about as far as trading goes. And it won't be as much speculation at that point as it will be actual physical trades happening, and we'll know how that works.
So excited.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited too. Once again, if you have any questions or anything about the upcoming trade deadline that you would like us to cover, you can ask us on Twitter at Cory and Cody Show. You can email us at coryandcodyshow@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter at Cory and Cody Show. You can follow me at Corey Till. You can follow him at CTill72. Jeremy Lin is a Houston Rocket. And Carmelo has his team in New York again. So
I don't like that punk.
Carmelo?
Man.
I think he's like the stereotypical NBA player, right? Like
he's Allen Iverson all over again.
Yeah, right? Like he's like the guy that we look at and he's selfish. He wants all the publicity, all this stuff. I'm not a fan of Carmelo Anthony.
I mean, they've already said that Jeremy Lin was pretty much forced out by him.
Yeah, Carmelo Anthony pretty much just took control of the team and said, like, look, I'm not going to be happy if he's here, and this is my team, so we'll see.
I think it's a good move for Houston. I really do.
I do, but I just don't think he's going to be the complete piece to their puzzle.
Oh, I'm not talking about. They're not winning the championship. They might make the playoffs.
But I mean, Jeremy Lin is like now. I mean, that's his team in Houston now. He is the star on that team. They have nobody else.
they went to the Asian market once with Yao Ming, and
it worked.
And it was very popular. Actually, I've heard that whenever he was there, Yao Ming was in Houston, you saw more Houston Rockets jerseys over in Asia than anywhere.
Oh yeah, I'm sure, and I'm sure Jeremy Lin.
There was more sold over there than there was in the United States.
Well, for one thing, Houston, Texas market, we have 3 basketball teams in a state that's basketball is not I mean, it's like football, then baseball, then basketball. So, I think
especially now that the Rangers
obviously
are winning. But even when the Mavs were winning, they didn't get.
All 3 of our basketball teams in Texas I would consider them all pretty small markets, even though Houston and Dallas obviously aren't small markets at all. It's
as far as basketball, oh yes.
Yeah, exactly. But even then, that's going to be Jeremy Lin's team. He's gonna see what they can do in Houston. Obviously, they're trying to do other things with the Dwight Howards and the Pau Gasols and not Pau Gasols, Andrew Bynums, and they're trying to do as much as they can to get that team better. And I think it's good for Houston if they can make some moves. It seems like they're willing to spend some money, and we'll see. We will see.
I think that it was something that Houston really needed because they didn't have anybody else. And
correct.
What were the Knicks thinking?
I don't think they wanted him.
Well, they were trying to play this little cat and mouse game. They just made themselves look like a fool.
I think they tried to make themselves look like the good guys, not realizing that Houston would just outsmart them and just offer this like ridiculous contract. And then Houston did, and then they look like idiots. So,
right.
It was good. It was good business by Houston, and so we'll see how it goes. It's obviously basketball just ended, and there's a lot of.
We got the Olympics coming up.
Yeah, the Olympics coming up and all this stuff. But as far as NBA goes, we got a little while till the season starts and to really see how these moves that are the big news right now, really pan out.
Have you watched any of the U.S. warm-up games or what they're having?
Watching NBA players absolutely destroy the rest of the world is not very entertaining to me.
They are dominating people.
Well, I mean, because look, okay, the reason the USA team is so good, right? Like, there's other countries like Spain and Germany and Russia that have relatively good 5 to 6 NBA stars that they have on their Olympic team. And they're really good, right? And they can keep up with the U.S. team for a while. But when the U.S. team shines, it's bench, right? Like, there's 10 of the there's 10 of the top 50 greatest players of all time on that team right now, right? So when they go to their bench, they just absolutely kill it.
Right.
So I don't know.
I mean, it's just depth.
Yeah, it's not entertaining to me at all.
Any team with LeBron James on is going to be good regardless.
Well, probably.
The guy is pretty much probably the best player. I wouldn't say the best player that's ever played the game, but definitely the best player playing the game right now.
Correct.
I mean, the guy's just a freakish athlete.
Correct. I don't know. When the Olympics come around and it actually means something, I'll be more apt to turn it on. But right now, it's just warm-up games. It's not very entertaining to me. I'd much rather watch baseball than Olympic trials or Olympic warm-ups. Speaking of freakish athletes, Dwight Howard to L.A. Everybody's pretty sure that this is going to happen. It's been the news all week that the contract has been offered. It seems like it's going to be a 3-way deal. with Cleveland. If Cleveland can come around, I think that's pretty much the roadblock with the trade right now. Is Cleveland wanting Andrew Bynum for a long-term deal, and they don't seem to be willing to go that way.
Kind of skimming through an article right now. It's talking about another snag. No, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't look like it's going too good.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some issues with it. I do think he ends up being a Laker in some form or fashion before the season starts. He will not be in Orlando. I don't know how it gets done or when they do it, but I definitely think that it will turn out to be Dwight Howard playing alongside Kobe Bryant and Pau Gasol in LA.
Steve Nash.
And Steve Nash, and it's going to be scary.
If they get Dwight Howard, they become the front runners for sure.
Do they?
In the West.
Oh, in the West. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely in the West.
In the East, I mean, with the Heat adding Rondo,
No, that would be stupid.
Ray
Allen.
Okay, excuse me.
That would be ridiculous.
I still see them being.
LA
the
repeats
Packers
next
in
year.
it.
I mean, not LA. Miami repeats next year. Calling it. Right now.
How about San Antonio?
No. They'll be good again.
What about Oklahoma City?
They'll be good again.
I think Oklahoma City might have something.
But do you think Oklahoma City can get past LA? I don't think they can. I don't think
If they get Dwight,
I don't think they have the size.
If LA gets Dwight,
They don't have an answer for Dwight
matchup.
Howard. Like who's
Who?
Oklahoma City?
You're gonna have to put Durant on him.
Who's gonna have LeBron? Russell Westbrook? He's like 6'0".
Not LeBron.
Kobe.
I
I mean, James Harden he crumbled last year, so
He played good until the finals, and then he
yeah.
just disappeared. I think he had that one decent game.
Somebody else hit a home run for the Rangers, by the way.
I saw something.
Oh,
where it was
Napoli has hit 2 of the Rangers' 5 home runs. All right.
Well, I see that it's 9-2 in the top of the ninth. Is that what you got?
Yep. Anyways, yeah, but Dwight Howard. That's the way I look. That's the way I look at it. I see him in LA, and I see it being an interesting season. LA, San Antonio, and Oklahoma City again being the three favorites that, as of right now, assuming that he goes to LA, Dwight Howard. So, but even if he doesn't, I mean, Andrew Bynum's not bad. He's not as good as Dwight Howard, but
We need him in black and silver.
Dwight Howard,
Yeah,
he wouldn't fit in San Antonio.
him and Tim Duncan.
No,
See the little Yorkie?
I do see a little Yorkie. I do. Very manly.
It's my girlfriend's dog. Chill out.
Uh,
Nah, she's my dog too. I love her.
and then
She just chilling.
we were talking on the Olympics. Have you seen the video of the Australian hurdler?
No.
Wow. I think it was actually like the Junior Olympics. I don't know. She doesn't look like a junior. None of the girls in this video look
You
junior.
got something on it?
What do you mean, like a link?
Yeah, or a clip or something? Or something? Probably not.
No, I can. Hold on.
No. Why? What's so...
She's hot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she dances.
Oh, I just thought she was a badass. She's hot, too.
She's a badass too. Hold on, let me get the
bonus.
Let me get the good one.
I gotta tell you about me and Rindy's putt-putt adventure.
Okay, we can do that later. Here you go. I'm gonna pull it up on here. Yeah.
Why is she dancing like that?
That's how she warms up.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Oh shit.
I don't know.
She's pretty attractive.
This video's gone. Not this video, but there's one up here. 8 million views in 3 days. Shit's going crazy viral.
She'll be in Playboy before you know it.
Oh yeah, all those Olympic athletes end up in Playboy. Anyways.
How would you know, Corey?
Because there was an episode or
An episode of what?
Not episode. There was a magazine that was like straight dedicated to him. I don't have it, but I know it's out there.
I think I actually might have used that one.
You probably did.
More than likely I did.
More than likely. Anyways, thoughts, questions, everything. Follow us on Twitter at Cory and Cody Show. You can email us at CoryandCodyShow@gmail.com. Follow me at Corey Till. Follow him at CTill72. We tweet about sports. I tweet about sports and games and all types of stuff because I'm a nerdy nerd, and I tweet about all types of stuff. He's just learning Twitter, so I don't know what he tweets about yet. We'll figure it out eventually.
What's funny is I've had Twitter for a long time, and I still don't know how to use the damn thing.
Yeah, but at Cory and Cody Show will be where you'll get all the show updates. Email us questions. We're going to end up adding a segment, and we'll use the questions throughout the show, obviously, also. But I'll go over more of that at the end. A couple more topics to go over. Penn State statue. President of the NCAA said earlier this week that no punishment is out of question, including the death penalty. Not out of question. So, some pretty bold words from the president of the NCAA.
I think that's a little harsh.
I agree.
The death penalty, I think it's going too far now with these universities as far as people being able to hurt people and then just move on. As far as the coaches and the players, this is a little different than like Reggie Bush's family taking money from the university to get a house, and then they take away his Heisman. Okay, but you know what? USC doesn't get to play in a bowl game for how many ever years, and Reggie Bush just has to get back his Heisman. Doesn't have to do anything else. Doesn't have to sit out a game for anybody. Their head coach Pete Carroll takes a job, in Seattle. Doesn't get any, in any trouble. Doesn't have to take any of the responsibility. I think it's these universities they're giving almost too much power to these head coaches because of the money that they bring in for the university. I mean, do you feel that way?
I mean, as far as the Penn State thing goes itself, I think that the death penalty is way too far. I think it's obviously what they did. It's a tragedy. It's awful. It's there's a lot of stuff that we probably still don't know that'll come out. I haven't gone and read the free report in full entirety, but from what I understand and what I have read on the subject, Joe Paterno was highly involved in the situation. The football program, did they benefit from him being there like this whole time? Yeah, probably. I mean, when Joe Paterno goes and sits in a parent's house and says, "I want your son to play football for me," it's pretty good. It's a pretty big advantage for a school. So had he come out 10 years ago and made this public and said, "Hey, like I've had a pedophile working for me for 15 years and I've known about it," could have changed the view on the university a long time ago. So has it helped? Has it helped the university as far as recruiting and stuff?
Edge given the
university. Has it helped? Yeah, it probably has.
Well, I mean, if you want to look at, I mean, I don't disagree with the way you're looking at that, but yeah, I think that he should have been as far as Jerry Sandusky should have been fired that day, taken to jail. I think that they covered up, Joe Paul, as well as everybody else, covered up his crimes to protect the university and to protect themselves, which is a shame.
Yeah, I agree that it was a lot less was done than needed to be done, and Paterno obviously had a really big say in what happened, and I don't know where he went, but I'll keep talking. He obviously had a really big say in the changes throughout what happened, right? He was the leader of that university. He was the head honcho. He was the boss. The president and the athletic director couldn't control him, right? Obviously, so I think there's a lot of things that could have changed.
Do they take the statue down?
Yeah, yes.
I think so too. I think it really becomes a safety issue as far as let's not sugarcoat anything. These college students are drinking, and 100,000 kids coming out after a loss, pissed off. One thing leads to another. Somebody starts defacing Joe Paterno's statue, and somebody doesn't like it. Big fight breaks out. College kids are idiots. Let's say that they're not. Let's not pretend like they're not morons, because they are. Me and you are college people. We have and done stupid stuff. So
definitely. But the subject itself is extremely touchy, as far as what the supporters are really supportive, right? Like, they really think he's done nothing wrong. And no matter what you do or what you say or how you sugarcoat it or how you don't sugarcoat it and be real with it, no matter what you do, they're going to see it as Joe Paterno did what he was supposed to do. He turned over he turned it over to his authorities, and they should have done something about it. But at the end of the day, Joe Paterno was the authority. He was the one that, from what I understand, the emails, he was the one that said, like, don't do that. We're going to do it this way. And you don't have a say in it. And if the supporters are going to be... The supporters that want the statue there and don't want it taken down are going to see it that way, always. But the president of the university has came out and said, the new president, obviously, that if the statue goes up or stays up or is moved or is removed is 100% his decision, and he said that he will have it made by Monday, the 23rd. So,
what a bad position to be in.
Yeah, it's awful. I mean,
I'm sorry, I don't think I could take that job.
Yeah, you're a brand new president of the university. You're less than a year into the job, and you're already being faced with, like, do I take a dead man's legacy and just get rid of it? I mean, not only is it like this legacy, it's the legacy of, like, arguably the best football coach in NCAA history.
Definitely one of the most successful.
The most successful. He has more wins than any other coach ever.
So, but he's also not only the head coach, but he's also the face. I mean, because you think of Penn State, who's the person you think of? You don't think of Nittany Lion. You don't think of the stadium.
No.
You don't think of anything. You think you see his face with his glasses on. That's exactly what you think of.
Yeah, I mean,
and all his little Twitter, interview. I mean, where ESPN interviews where he's talking about Twitter, Tweedledee, I love that. Him talking about how he doesn't know how to use any of that. He's just old school. He's going to walk into a house. He's going to tell you exactly how it's going to be. That he's going to take care of your kid. And, we're going to go win a national championship. And if you tell him all that and go, oh, by the way, one of my assistant coaches is a pedophile. He's been caught in the shower with little boys, doing whatever he's done.
And we've been hiding it for 15 years.
Yeah, hiding it from everybody. You know, just take that into consideration too.
Yeah, I just don't see how the people can like live their lives knowing that they did that. I don't know. It's
How did they live? I mean, let's not get this wrong. It's Joe Paul. Yes, he made a mistake. He covered it up. But he is not the pedophile here.
no.
It is another man.
Yes.
The reason people are blowing this up is because he hit it.
Because correct. Because he knew and he didn't go to the police. He didn't do anything about it, pretty much. And not only did they kept the dude employed. Like, he worked there till
That's
like
what's even worse.
till like this whole thing started. I'm pretty sure he was like an employee almost the entire time. I could be wrong, but I know for a long time after the Mike McQuarrie, where he actually saw him and then like went and called his dad. I know he worked at Penn State for a while. Like, he wasn't supposed to be on campus or something. He was like banned, but no one acknowledged it. And like, he had an office and all this stuff.
Supposedly, the president of the university, several coaches, obviously Joe Paterno, knew about it.
Yep.
And just completely just turned the other direction. Now, and you're telling me that Joe Paterno is the one that was like telling everybody how it was going to be, then maybe he did do something wrong.
Maybe so. I don't know. No, there's no maybe to it. He did something wrong. But he definitely did something wrong.
Well, I'm referring to as far as just destroying his whole legacy. I mean, because before Jerry Sandusky, there's still what? I mean, how long was he coaching before him?
Several years.
Like 20, maybe even 30 years, maybe
Yeah.
even longer. So he already had a legacy. Does this become Joe Paul's legacy?
Yes.
I think so too. I think you look back, 15 years from now, and that's the only thing you're going to think of.
Especially our generation.
Yeah.
Because our generation's going to see it just like that. We didn't know him when Penn State was winning. I mean, let's be honest, Penn State's never been a great program in my lifetime. I mean, not in my recollectual lifetime, at least. I mean, they've always been competitive, but never like on the national champion. They've never been a USC or an Alabama or a LSU or Texas or any of the other schools that have been national championship contenders year in and year out. That hasn't been our lifetime. So I think as far as our generation, we will see him this way as he was a great football coach, but
Messed up.
what he did was what he did. There's gonna be some more people go to jail for this. I'm like 90% certain of that.
You think so?
Yeah, I think the former president, and the former AD, I think they'll both see some form of jail time, because I mean, there's pretty clear evidence that they knew that this happened and they didn't do anything about it. So I can definitely see jail time. Definitely.
I think. Yeah, I mean, and it's rightfully so. I mean,
Yeah, definitely.
It's rightfully so.
I still don't
Yeah,
see how
and
these people lived for years knowing this.
And they still were writing him a check, and still saw him probably out, and probably with his wife, and
I mean, I wonder if his wife knew. She had to know, right? Like,
I hope. I mean, I hope not, because then she needs to go to jail too.
well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like,
I
could you
don't
imagine living with the person? Like, could you imagine if you had like a roommate and like,
know. Well, no.
and like, like you knew about it, or like,
I'm sorry.
no, I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine knowing somebody, much less like living or working with somebody.
I'd honestly, I could no. I'd have to. I'd be like, what the hell are you doing?
Like, you
Wait a
couldn't
minute,
couldn't look someone in the face,
I
and
think I'd have to punch him square in the noggin.
I couldn't look someone in the face if I knew they were a child rapist. Like, I just
No.
couldn't. So,
Just total lack of respect.
100%.
I mean, that's something. That's something right there that boils me. I'm not mad. Actually, I think I am more mad at Joe Paterno and the DA. I mean the AD and the president and everybody else that knew and didn't say anything than actually Jerry Sandusky himself. Because obviously Jerry Sandusky's just a sick individual.
Yeah, I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at any of them, but
well, I wouldn't say mad. I'd say more disappointed.
Well, I'm disgusted at Sandusky.
Well, obviously,
it's all of it's bad. I mean, knowing about it, I mean that's just like knowing a murder suspect and like I don't know.
It's always a touchy subject, and you know we feel bad for all the victims of him.
But yeah, I mean, that's.
I don't think this is in. I don't think that we've seen everybody. I think there's going to be more people come out.
Yeah, I think obviously there's going to be people, whether it's true or not. There's going to be more come out,
Right.
especially now that he's in jail. Because there were the people that came out, I guess about a week ago now, that said they were older gentlemen, much older than the original victims that were at the trial and whatever, and said that they had never came out and said anything just out of they were scared of the dude. And if that's the case, then that means he's been doing it since I think he was in like his late 20s. Was like the correlation.
And he's been what is he 60? So he's probably been doing it for 40 years.
Probably.
I mean, it just makes my stomach hurt.
At least 20. But it's gross. Yeah, I think the people who came out like last week were in their mid to late 30s, and it was like 20 years ago or something when it had happened to them. And I don't know if those have been proven true or if those were more just people coming out and trying to get some money out of the deal.
Right.
Penn State's going to be in debt, okay? They're going to be paying a lot of money to a lot of people.
And they're going to be I really look for their football team to suffer.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know, because they're going to have the whole... Yeah, it's going to for a few years, but, I mean, being the next coach of that team, whoever it is, he's going to be able to come out and have the whole, like, let's restore Nittany pride, let's erase all this negative stuff, this was one of the great programs. To
build it back up, you have to tear it down.
Yeah, well, it's already tore down. I don't think the university itself can get much lower than it is at this point.
They're saying right now that the sculptor of the statue is waiting to hear from
the president.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll know Monday morning sometime what the final thing on that is.
I'm trying to find something here on it.
I've had ESPN on this whole time, and I think it would have been a pretty breaking news if something had came out about it.
No, I'm just trying to see if what this engraver's wanting.
Yes, yeah, I think they should almost just give it back to the dude that made it and let him decide what he kind of wants to do with it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's the school's property. You can't take his name off the library. You can't do that because he paid for it.
Oh.
You can't. That won't happen.
They took his name off the hospital.
Off what hospital?
He had some Joe Paul, some kind of something, or no, it was Jerry Sandusky who had the children.
Yeah, of course. It don't matter.
Like the children's hospital.
Dude's in jail.
Something. Yeah, golly.
Yeah, no. Yeah, his name's off of everything in that city. He got removed from the mural and shit. He's way done. Way done. Way done.
Is he gonna get the death penalty, or is he just gonna rot in jail for the rest
400 and something years. I don't think they have the death penalty in Pennsylvania.
Oh, they should. That means we gotta feed him till he fucking dies.
Yeah, he got like 453 years.
We got more than that.
Got life. Actually, I mean, that might have been like the minimum he could get. I don't know.
Can you imagine being up there?
453 years.
Obviously not for child molestation, but just whatever. And judge goes 453 years.
No, I couldn't imagine being on trial for anything.
I'd be like,
I'm a pretty good
okay.
citizen. I try to stay within the confines of the law most of the time. I
couldn't imagine being up there 453 years. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Why'd you say life, Judge?
Well, I might make it.
I might get to see daylight again.
Well, I might make it. When do I get parole? Like year 200?
Yeah, that's not
Asshole.
the.
I like just until you die. Oh, okay. Well, that's.
Yeah,
that's
right. Like, wouldn't that be much better? Like, you're just gonna sit and not only are you gonna go to jail, you're just gonna sit in solitary because if we let you out, some big black dude's gonna stick something in your, and then.
Whoa.
And that, I mean, that's.
You're gonna stick a spoon in your mouth.
Yeah, child rapists don't make it in jail, man. Especially if you're like a celebrity, and you go in there for that. Oh, gosh.
Oh, I wonder how many non-Penn State people are in that jail.
Big Tito over there is just—he's gonna have his way with you, okay?
Jerome.
Jerome. Yeah.
Hey, you.
He's gonna sit in a very dark room for the rest of his life if he doesn't find a way to commit suicide in prison, which wouldn't surprise me.
I don't know. They'll probably have him locked down.
Oh, they do. He's solitary. He's already.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, no, they're gonna keep him alive.
Well, yeah. But I mean, they're not gonna. He's not gonna be in the general public of the jail.
No.
They've already said that it's not gonna happen. Could you imagine that? Like, not seeing anybody for 453 years?
I got a Dallas news here. Tony Romo sticking by Des Bryant.
It's a good advertisement. Let's get sponsored by those people.
Who?
I don't know, whoever that was.
Oh, some video.
That is a topic we didn't bring up. We'll go ahead and close the show with that one. A couple arrests in the NFL this week. We had obviously Des Bryant, his own mother, calling and reporting him for whatever it was.
It was domestic assault.
That one. For dumbassness, okay?
Oh my. What a piece of shit.
Yeah, that's... The dude's a great receiver. Probably the top 5 receiver in the game right now. Assuming he can stay healthy for a year. And 2 arrests in one offseason, like... I don't...
Is his off-season distractions, because that's what they are, is distractions. You know how many times Tony Romo and the team's going to be asked about Des Bryant in the training camp
first week? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's all Tony Romo's going to hear. He's not going to hear anything else. He's going to hear about damn Des Bryant. So, I mean, that becomes a distraction. Yeah. Is his distraction worth his play on the field? Because
right now, no.
Yeah, right now it has not been even close. No. So I've heard, other people talk about what's his trade value.
I don't know.
Right now, his trade value I don't think is very, very good at all. With all the arrests, with everything going on, plus his lack of production on the field. They say whenever he had a lineup on the sideline to Oklahoma State every time when he would go out for a pass, so they could tell him what route to run and when to cut.
Yeah.
Cutting out is
just in terms of this offseason, or not this offseason, just in terms of this incident. It's one thing when you hear these accusations, and it's a girlfriend or a wife or a whatever, like that calls the police on you. Like, bitches be crazy, okay? And
we don't condone that. We don't condone beating on any woman.
No, I'm not. That's not what I'm saying at all. That's not what I'm saying at all.
I know that.
I'm just saying that this type of shit happens, right? Like where somebody says something, and they're a public figure, and their girlfriend calls the police, and we get this big overblown scene. It wasn't a girlfriend. It wasn't a wife. It was his mother. His own mom, the person who gave birth to him, called the police and said that she wasn't having any more of it.
That he took his ball cap off and slapped her in the face with it?
I haven't read the whole
Like
thing.
hit her on her hands and wrist or something?
I don't know. I just...
Ripped her shirt, threw her down?
Whatever he did, it doesn't matter. When your own mother's calling the police on you, you're doing something fucking wrong. Don't mean to drop the F-bomb, but...
No, yeah, he is completely screwed up. I mean, and Jerry, I don't think is going to be the type of guy that's going to admit that he's wrong. He's never been like that as far as Jerry Jones. As far as, as far as trading, I mean, but you got to do something. You have to do something. You can't have your star receiver, on ESPN every day for beating his mom up. Or going to jail,
or being two times the legal limit.
Yeah, or owning, some jewelry company $250,000 and being taken to court. I mean, it seems like every other.
It's
month.
immature, and it's. I don't know. I don't understand it. Like,
I'll say this: whenever Deion Sanders was a great mentor as he is, whenever he throws up his hands and says, I just can't get through to him, that's when you know it's bad.
Yeah, and obviously there's something wrong with the guy and with his. He needs help of some sort. Somebody needs to really sit down and talk to this dude and let him know what he's doing. And I don't know who it is or what they need to say to him, but Jerry needs to be hiring. He needs to be spending a little extra money to get this dude on the field and to get him ready to play football in a few months.
He faces up to a year in jail, which we know he will never get.
Yeah,
right. He'll never get.
He'll get a huge fine and some probation.
NFL or the team.
He'll get both. He'll get the NFL shit for sure.
You think he's gonna get a suspension?
No, but I think he'll get fined. I mean, he might get a game or two, but as far as the legal stuff goes, I don't think he'll get. He'll get whatever the maximum fine is and probation probably. How does probation work when you're an athlete? Like, how you're not supposed to leave.
Can't leave the city.
Yeah, do you get like a work visa?
I think if you're on probation, I don't know.
I bet there's some way around, like, where you get like a work whatever, you can like leave and for a certain amount of time.
You can only play in your home city.
Yeah, you can only play home games, Des. But yeah. Also, we had the Elvis Dumervil getting arrested on. I guess he got arrested on gun charges or something. All I know about this situation was that somebody like pulled up next to him and made a big scene, and him and his buddy got out of the car, walked up to the window, and like lifted their shirts and flashed their guns at him. And guns, I mean like guns, like pew pew, not like guns.
Yeah, not like biceps.
Yeah, not like biceps, like guns, like I'm gonna shoot you guns.
It's getting too bad.
I don't understand it.
It just seems like there's always somebody getting arrested. It always seems like my phone's going off with the NFL telling me that somebody got arrested for a DUI or somebody.
There was a tweet. I want to say it was O.C. Umenyiora. I want to say he tweeted. He was like, "I go to Nigeria for 1 week and I come back and half the NFL's in jail. What the fuck happened?"
I mean, it seems like that's the way it is.
Yeah, that's
Marshawn Lynch.
It's like he left for a week and it like upset the balance of the NFL, so everybody got arrested. And he came back and now everything's balanced again. So maybe OCU and Umenyiora is like the chosen one.
Let's see here. Yeah, Elvis Dumervil was arrested in Miami.
Yeah, on like gun charges, right? On like disturbing the peace or
Marshawn
something.
Lynch was arrested for DUI.
DUI, yeah. Then we also had the Jason Kidd. That's not NFL, but that.
Yeah, but
I don't understand this. And you hear this same argument on every sports radio show you listen to. If you make millions of dollars, millions, like they're making more doing what they love than what I'm going to do doing anything in my entire lifetime, more than likely. And they'd make that like every time they walk up to the plate or shoot a basket or line up for a play. How do you not have a limo or a driver or a taxi or something? Like if I had that much money, I would never leave my house driving. I wouldn't drive another day in my life.
I wouldn't say I would never drive.
I would, but I'm saying.
But I mean, why not? You have enough money where everything's at your fingertips as far as being taken care of you. I've always said, if I ever had that amount of money, I would never cook for myself. I'd have somebody that would cook for me. I'd honestly, you have enough money to where you don't ever have to do anything but what you want to do. So, you go out to a nightclub, and it takes one phone call. So you order another drink, you call your driver up and say, hey, I'm going to have one more drink, meet me outside. It doesn't matter if you've had one drink or 25 drinks. They have that at their exposure, and they don't never seem to use it.
Well, most of them probably do. We just don't hear about those cases because they're smart.
That's true.
That's the thing about the media and the press is we're not going to report on
someone that got in a limo.
Yeah, if Jason Kidd went and got real fucked up and hammered and got in a limo with someone else and drove him home, the media and the press would just talk about him being drunk and obscene and whatever. And that's the part of the story you would hear. You wouldn't hear the part about him not driving home.
That's correct.
But he did drive home, and he got caught, and that's what we heard about. We heard about the whole fucking thing.
Did he hit a tree?
No, I don't think so. I think he just got pulled over.
I got it right here. No, he hit a telephone pole.
Oh, that's even worse.
Oh, no, maybe he didn't. Okay, no. It says, I'm glad he didn't wrap his car around a telephone pole. No, yeah. Jason Kidd did hit a telephone pole.
I don't know. I don't understand it. I just don't understand it.
At least he didn't drive a car into somebody's house.
And especially in this day and age with Twitter and Facebook and cell phones, we've seen the tragedy that's just happened in Colorado with the Batman stuff, with this the shooting. Terrible. It's terrible. It's awful, right? But what's been cool about it, just because it's the biggest incident like this in a while, as far as the United States goes, as far as just a shooting, mass shooting. But what's interesting about it is the stuff that you've seen come out on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and all this stuff, right? Like on YouTube alone, I saw 2 or 3 different videos of people talking about the 2 or 3 videos of footage from the theater. I've seen, I think, 2 of them. Mm-hmm. Not from inside the actual theater, but from outside. People running out. You see like blood on their shirt and all this stuff. I've seen a video of a couple guys that got interviewed. Not interviewed, but like they filmed it in their house, just talking about it. 2 guys that were in the theater, and all this networking stuff that we see now. And like we have more than just what we have. We have more than what the media tells us. And I think it's interesting, and like all this stuff, and all these people, these athletes and stuff that when you do something stupid, famous people in general, when you do something stupid, there's going to be a camera on you. It's going to be on Twitter. It's going to be trending on Twitter. People are going to find out. It's going to blow up. It's going to get the media, etc., etc., etc. Like all that stuff is going to happen. So we don't know exactly how how this will, or we do know, not we don't. We do know how all this happens now. It happens fast. As soon as it happens, people know about it, and it spreads really fast.
It's sad. I mean, this kid, or whatever he is, he was a college student. It was a neuroscience major or something. So basically, working with the brain. It puts life in perspective. We're lucky that we can do this, and these people are simply trying to enjoy a movie, and this just guy walks in with a gun and just starts opening fire. I mean, it really, to me, puts life in perspective as far as any day could be your last day.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does. I mean, if you can get shot in a movie theater watching, trying to watch Batman, which is awesome, by the way. I'm not trying to plug them or anything, but
I'll plug them all they want. They want me to put advertisements all over the place. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Hit me
it
up.
was a great movie.
Hit me
Great
up
movie.
on Twitter right there.
I won't spoil the ending for anybody.
I haven't seen it, so
Yeah.
I plan on seeing it. I want to let the new wear off of it a little bit.
I kind of, me being in a smaller town, I got to sneak in there.
Yeah.
There was open seats. It was probably like 75% full. And
You also saw it in the middle of the day on a Friday too.
Yeah,
So
3:30 on a Friday. Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's a 3-hour movie, but I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. I mean, it is that good.
Yeah, I'm excited to go see it. There's a couple movies out that I want to see. So
Have you seen Project X yet?
no,
Good movie.
I want to see Ted, and I want to see Batman, and I want to
Ted's good.
and I want to see. There's something else. Oh, I want to see Spider-Man. I don't know.
It's good.
Yeah, you're like $2 movies you got up there.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, unfortunately, I got to pay like 8 times that to go see one movie down here. So, anyways, normally I would love right now to answer some emails and shout out a few Twitter questions and stuff like that. But being the first show, we don't have any of that. So, we're gonna do a little update on a good friend of mine, a good friend of the show, and everything. Courtney Hawkins, he was, if anybody saw it, the dude that did the backflip at the MLB draft. He's been playing pretty well in I guess it's rookie ball or summer ball, whatever you want to call it.
Rookie Appalachian League.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go and I'll pull up the stat sheet that he's been doing. Just a little update. He's a local town, Corpus Christi. Went to the same high school as me. I've known Courtney for years. I've known Courtney since I was in 7th or 8th grade. So, real good.
Yeah, I remember.
Real good friend of mine. He's hit 3 home runs, batting .279, 13 RBIs, 4 stolen bases in 27 games. So, I mean, he's doing good.
Yeah, I'm proud of the boy. I remember whenever he was shorter than me, which isn't saying much. But I remember when
he was a little chubby dude.
Yeah, he was our ball boy for football.
Yeah, that's how I know.
His brother was a good friend of mine and played receiver for us, and he's actually playing for Texas State now. But I remember when he was a little ball boy, a little chunky little kid, and he's really turned out to be some athlete. He's going to be a hell of a ball player for the Chicago White Sox. So I'm excited to see him. Whenever he makes his way through the A balls, and maybe makes it to the show one day.
Y'all can go give him a follow on Twitter. It is at CHawkins10. It's right there on the screen. You can see it. He's awesome. He's a real funny dude. So
he likes to tweet.
Yeah, he's a big Twitter dude. I mean, he's got almost 4,000 tweets. So he's definitely a big Twitter guy.
They actually had an article of him back in the Corpus newspaper, the Caller Times, about his update and everything, and they actually had a picture of him signing autographs. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, I did see that. Anyways, I think that will wrap up today's show. Do you have any final thoughts?
Oh man, it was a good first one. We got some stuff to work on and stuff, and obviously we're not professional journalism or broadcast majors or anything like that, but we're gonna keep at it. Hopefully one day we'll be able to do a show every day, and we just keep following us on Twitter. We're obviously both from Texas, so most of our tweets and stuff are about Texas stuff, but we do throw the national spotlight in there as well. So we're looking forward to building the show up. We appreciate all the support.
Like I said during Sam, I'm Cory Till. He is Cody Till. Very similar names. Don't mix them up. Dealt with it my whole life though, so either way you want to do it. I am at Cory Till on Twitter. Like he said, as far as my Twitter account, I do a lot of tweets about sports and the Rangers and Spurs and all that type of stuff, and I talk about a lot of different stuff on Twitter. I'm a big esports nerd. If anybody knows anything about the internet and esports, Team Liquid poster back there. Nobody does. Sports, two different worlds. Anyways, I talk a lot about that.
I want to cover some of that on here.
Yeah, I mean maybe someday. I mean it's a growing thing. So maybe someday we'll get big enough and I'll be able to do like a 5-minute plug on my esports stuff. Or we'll call it competitive gaming because it's not a sport. But so that's you'll see all that type of stuff from me at Cory and Cody Show. If you have questions about the show or you want to talk to us about the show, at Cory and Cody Show is the place to do it. If you have a question about a topic or something that you would like us to talk about in the next week's show, it will be Cory and Cody Show at gmail.com. Also listed below me right here. You'll see the Twitter and it's backwards. Got you right. At Cory and Cody Show on Twitter. We look to do these weekly. Obviously, right now I'm doing the producing. I'm doing the editing and all that stuff. So that's all coming out of my end right now. So working a job and going to school and all this stuff. Doing this more than once a week and not making money off of it's not possible. So if you like it, support it. Spread it on Facebook. Spread it on Twitter. Spread it on Tumblr, MySpace if you're into that, YouTube, whatever. Subscribe if you like it, and let us know what we need to change, what we need to do. Obviously, we're not professional, speakers or journalists or anything like he said. So, anyways, seems like it could be a was a good first show. The first time I've choked up the whole show, right at the end.
That's going on the intro.
Yeah. Anyways. I am Cory Till. He is Cody Till. Thanks for watching. At Cory Till, at CTill72. Thank you for watching. Till next time.